following program is an exclusive Disruption Networks production.
It's Bowling for the Bahamas and Celebrity Bowling Challenge to benefit the Bahamas Disaster Relief Fund. Sunday, December 1st, 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. AMF Panorama Lanes, 1724 Genesee Street, Utica. Come have fun and enjoy a few games of bowling for a good cause. There will be prizes, food and drink specials, and some special challenges mixed in along the way. $20 per bowler or $100 per team includes 2 games and shoe rental. All proceeds go directly to the Bahamas Relief Foundation. That's Bowling for the Bahamas and Celebrity Bowling Challenge, presented by Disruption Network, Holy Pozzoli, and AMF Panorama Lanes. Sunday, December 1st, 1724 Genesee Street, Utica.
So you just bought your dream home, and now it's time to move. Let's face it, nobody likes to move. All the packing, unpacking, lifting, upstairs, downstairs, and broking everything, including your back. Let the professionals at EJA Moving Company take all the stress and pain out of your move. Competitively priced moving, relocation services, office moves, and complete packing and unpacking services. They work with everybody to make it simple and easy for you to move and relocate. Call EJA Moving Company at 315-335-0516. When it's time to relocate, have EJA Moving do all the work for you. Hit them up online, ejamoving.com.
Hey, Disruption Network. This is Mike Sacco, the general manager at Nye Volkswagen of Rome. If you don't know me by name, it's only because you have not received the best deal. There's only one reason to leave Utica, and that's to come see me in Rome and get the best deal on your next new, pre-owned, or certified VW. Mention that you heard this ad from Disruption Network and receive $250 off your next vehicle purchase. You'll know why our customers say, I love my Nye VW. Come see us at 5865 Rome Taberg Road in Rome, or visit us online at nyvwofrome.com.
Want to know what's going on at the D? Hit up DisruptionNetwork.net and check out our events calendar, brought to you by the Events Co. Find out about upcoming guests, special events, concerts, show schedules, community activities, and more. Get connected at DisruptionNetwork.net.
Welcome to EC Radio Podcast. We would like to thank all of our sponsors for joining the Disruption team, and we hope that you will support all of our sponsors. And of course, we appreciate you listening to this program.
EC Radio, Disruption Networks. Disruption Networks.
What's cracking, everybody? How are you? Greetings and salutations. We're live here on the D, DisruptionNetwork.net. You can follow along on all Disruption Network social media platforms. Yeah, big day today for the D. I don't know if you guys got a chance to catch Leveling Up with Meg McGrogan, but her and her guest, Steve McMurray from WKTV, was just in the house mentioning the Business of the Year Awards, and yours truly, the D, up for finalist of Business of the Year. Woo! How about that? Huh? Can you believe that? Not bad for a bunch of degenerates, right?
Well earned. Yeah. It's about time.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much. I'm pretty excited. I'm beside myself, if you will.
Does that mean you win, or you're up for it?
We're just up for it. Just being nominated is a huge accomplishment in itself.
Yeah,
I mean, you guys know where we started from, in that little closet over there, to where we are, and just keep growing and growing.
See, and I'm happy.
I'm finally out of the closet, Jeff. Yes, finally out of the closet. But yeah, it was really, really cool. And thank you to the Chamber of Commerce for the recognition, and also to Steve McMurray from WKTV for coming in and making the announcement. And congratulations to all the finalists out there. A lot of cool organizations and a lot of cool businesses that are nominated for Business of the Year award. And I think the awards are December 12th. I'm not 100%. Check your local listings, but we will be there. And I'm going to dress up. I might dress up for that.
What do you mean by that?
I'll put on a golf shirt.
Your pants.
And pants, too. Yeah.
Full-length pants?
Full length, yeah.
Wow.
And a golf shirt.
All right. Very nice.
It's hard to own a business, you know? That's a tough grind.
And we're going to get into that, for sure. We're going to get into that, and you two would know better than anybody. That's for damn sure. But much love out to my friends over at Utica Coffee, wakethehellup.com. You can find them online. They keep us hydrated here every day on the D. Thank you so much to Heather and Frank. Also, thank you to Saranac, EJA Moving Services, Utica Hemp Company,
big supporter of the CBD movement that's going on in the world. So if you are living in pain, make sure you check out our friends from Utica Hemp Co. and see what CBD does for you, because it works for me every day. And also, much love to Nye Volkswagen in Rome. Mention the D. Mention you listen to us on a daily basis. They'll give you a $250 off your vehicle purchase. Hit them up, NyeVDubofRome.com. Jeff and Pam Aderman in the house, my good friends. It's so good to see you two.
Nice to be here.
You guys are starting to look alike. You're starting to look alike.
Yeah, I know, it's weird. We've been together so long now, and we spend every minute of every day together, so we're melding into a thing.
Yeah.
It's not conscious.
No.
It's not.
No, it's not. Oh, or you're like, she's dressing me or something or whatever. It isn't. It's just that you sort of wind up in the same, like if you're with the right person, you just sort of wind up in the same place, and this is how we feel right now.
Yeah, in Pam's case, it's almost like you're resembling your dog or something, right?
Oh,
you know what I'm saying?
He's such a cute puppy, though.
He's such a good boy.
He's a good boy.
Well, that took.
You knew it was going to go off the rails right off the bat, pal. The relationship we've had throughout the years, and Jeff and I go way back, 20 plus years. From the Red Herring days and the Metro and all the Rome clubs and just so many years.
Days.
Yeah, Bobby McGee's and
Bobby McGee.
Yeah, so much things went on back then.
Parisi's, do you remember that too?
I don't.
That was a little bit before you.
And then Coleman's.
Well, for sure. Yeah.
Coleman's, you guys were there all the time.
Remember the rock slide?
I do.
That was Parisi's.
Okay, I gotcha. Rome's starting to come back a little bit too. Have you noticed that?
Yes, they're on the upswing. I think they're where Utica was 10, 15 years ago. They're really kind of on the cusp of something great.
Yeah.
I think Jackie Izzo seems to be doing really good things for them.
Yeah, she
and
is.
their grant writer, Diane Shoemaker, exceptionally brilliant grant writer. She is the behind-the-scenes unsung hero of a lot of these projects.
Wow.
I think they just had to I'm from Rome.
Yeah.
I was born and raised there, up until when I moved here in 96. So I could say things about Rome.
You can.
No, I guess what I'm saying is I think it took them a minute to figure out after the base left and after the Mills left and the things. They had to figure out like what the new thing was.
Sure. Cities have cycles just like anything else.
True.
in the universe, There's a birth and a death, and that's what happened. But, Utica had it too. And the city fathers, when all of the cotton mills went bust because everything moved south, the city fathers got together and they invented the loom to boom idea. So they went from looms, the cotton mills, to economic boom through transistor radios and all of the aeronautical stuff that they did. So cities have to reinvent themselves just like people, like businesses.
Bing, boom, boom. This was History Moment with Pam and Jeff.
We could do this all day. I love this stuff.
Deep geek, sorry.
I guess all I'm saying is that in the 80s, I remember being a Roman, and Utica wasn't we were making fun of it a little.
Right.
So everybody's got their ebb and flow.
I said this recently. Back in the day, Uticans used to go to Rome to go party. We used to go to Rome all the time in the 90s, go hang out. There was a lot of things to do. And then that switched a little bit where the Romans would come to Utica, but the Uticans wouldn't go to Rome. So now we got to try to figure out how to get the Uticans back to Rome.
Yeah, it's still almost the same, I think.
Here's what I don't understand. I did not grow up here, and I don't understand why we are not all the same city.
I agree.
It's 8 miles, and it might as well be 8,000 miles. There is no Utica-Rome difference. It's the Utica-Rome area. And I think that not-for-profits should start programming together. Bands should start swapping shows. I mean, we really need to foster that because if we stick together, we're bigger. We can do more together as a region. We should really work on that.
I agree.
I mean, any place else, those would be suburbs of each other.
We would be suburb of Syracuse anyplace else.
Yeah.
We won't even get into that.
Rome is like the biggest area, the third largest landmass in the United States. Yep. That's a big area to cover. What's it, like 30 miles of Rome or something like that?
And that's a huge asset to them. We could, if we did some sort of planned infill, we could really have a great little alternative metro area here.
Yeah. And very spread out, too. which would be great, and it would add more
There's
businesses.
nothing
Maybe
wrong with space.
right. We like our space.
I'm all right with a little.
Well,
You know, we
I
got
know about
water,
you.
we got air. We're right in the middle of the state. You know, there are a ton of assets that this place has that, you know, I think it's hard to see what you have if you
It's the Bank of Utica. We don't have any locust swarms.
no mudslides,
No
no
Sharknado.
killer bees.
Yeah, and
But-
no
but that-
traffic too.
No, totally.
And that's a beauty.
People think we have traffic here, and it's like
A
we
parking problem
Yeah,
here,
we get
yeah.
kids from the city, and they're like,
Yeah.
"This is rush hour," you know, like they're like laughing, you know.
Well, that's what broke me. I grew up in San Francisco, and I was going to the grocery store, which was less than 2 miles from my house. I got stuck on the 101, and it was an hour and a half to get to the grocery store.
Wow.
So I mean,
Hour and
I
a
lost
half.
my mind, and that's
yeah. Can you
a
imagine that?
regular
Seriously.
thing. That's a regular thing in cities to have an hour commute each way is the way that you live.
I mean, we rarely wait in line for anything here,
It's true.
unless it's like a super busy restaurant night or a show at the something, you know, something. But basically, you don't wait in line for squat here.
Right.
You don't wait through a stoplight more than once. you know?
Waiting in line is a way of life.
That's
You live in New York. You're 30
You're
your
on
life
line.
is
Yeah,
in
you're
line.
on line.
yeah, in line or in a car, just
Exactly.
waiting
You're
to
just
go,
waiting to go.
to merge.
Yes.
And then it takes 40 minutes to go, 5 blocks.
Yep.
That's all quality of life stuff, you know, and I wish that people could appreciate that kind of more intangible stuff more.
That's what cracks me up when people are complaining about like traffic being stuck there because of the construction, like what's going on down towards the bottom of the bridge there on North Jenny.
Thanks,
It's
Fran.
like, this is progress, people.
Yes.
So what? You got to wait in line for an extra 5 minutes. It could be a hell of a lot worse, like you said, an hour and a half just to go
Yes.
like 2 miles.
And guess
It
what?
could be so worse.
Go 2 blocks in either direction and go around it.
Yeah, go another way.
You know?
Exactly.
It's not
Go a
like you
different
don't
way. You
know,
know
that
it's
that's
there.
going to be torn up for the
It's
next
just
2
whatever.
years. You know?
There's-
I believe that this place does have a sort of weird thing in the air that I don't know what it is. It's not just music or art or anything. It's in general. They just like to complain.
Yeah. I
Unnecessarily.
think that's just human nature in general, not just upstate New York, man. It's
That
human
could be.
nature. People just love to complain and love to.
But progress is inevitable. It happens.
Exactly.
You complain all you want. It's
Yeah.
going to go.
Get on board.
You might as well just get on board.
Those ones that are complaining are not the ones reflecting on themselves.
Well, I think that there absolutely is a space for debate, and some of the quote progress that's happening is maybe not the best plan for it. Maybe there's no plan for some of it. The process that brought it about was maybe not great. It's not. I think that some of these people aren't anti-progress; they're anti-process. How that happened.
Right.
So. You know, we have to respect.
did
We
that.
have to respect each other's point of view. There has to always be room for debate in society.
I agree. And compromise.
Yes, compromise.
Compromise
We're
is-
trying to run a society out here, people.
Yeah.
Look, when you're running a business, right? You pitch somebody for a price with if any idea what you're doing.
Which we don't.
Right?
Full
It makes-
disclosure.
Full disclosure.
Makes 2 of us.
Yeah, no, we're not business.
As far as the business side, but no, seriously, you do sort of pitch something where you're like, if you're smart, you pitch in some wiggle room. In other words, you pitch in some room for compromise where somebody else hits you back and says, "Well, I was thinking more like this," or blah blah, so that you meet in the middle where you're both, everybody's cool with it. You know what I mean, and nobody's taking a bath. That's all.
It's negotiation 101.
Right.
And having some compassion and compromise
Yes.
will make us progress more as a society.
Right.
Compassion is a sorely missing thing, I think,
is.
in society in general these days, and it's too bad.
It is too bad.
Well, I think it's a lot of everybody's trying to just get everything they can get for themselves at all times, which is okay, but it's cold.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it sucks to be on the losing end of that stick. And I don't know. I don't know if it's. I think that you could get more done if there was compromise on a lot of levels.
Yep.
It may not be exactly what everybody wants, but the critical mass of it begins to accumulate in a way where you get a lot of shit done.
Exactly.
And maybe it's a little rough on the edges, but man, we got a lot of this shit done. You know what I mean? Instead of dying on a hill for everything you want on one thing and alienating everybody and polarizing everybody. You know what I'm trying to say?
Or just for greed, for money. I
Or
mean,
for
there's
money,
so
yeah.
much more to business than money. You know, I mean,
I agree.
Ben Franklin is like my ultimate hero, and he always said, do well by doing good. And that's kind of how we've tried to run our business. We call it like compassionate capitalism. We got to make money. Everybody's got to make money. But you don't have to take every cent out of a band's hide. We understand Jeff is a musician his entire life. I went to art school. My family is full of creative people that have their own business. We understand how hard it is to make that dollar.
Especially around here, too.
Especially around
Absolutely.
here. It is an unforgiving place for arts in a lot of ways. If you're an original band, it's very hard to find somewhere to play.
There's not a lot of reasons to do it.
Right.
In other words, like there's say like a city like a Philly or a New York or whatever. There's a cool factor, that's like you want to make the scene, and
there's a social benefit to it.
right there, and that just doesn't exist here. You've really gotta like you're kind of a dented can if you're doing what you're doing or what we're doing or what bands, original bands especially, but any band or artist is doing in this particular place. It's an uphill thing anyway, and then on top of it, I think it's even harder here.
I see the other side of the coin, too, where it is a little tough if you're an original band or an artist or something here in Utica. But Utica's so centrally located.
There's huge advantage.
Right, and that's the best advantage, I think, personally. And I tell the bands all the time, like, you can live here in Utica and then travel. You could get to New York City in 3.5 hours. You can get to Boston in 4 hours. You get to freaking Canada, another country, in 4 hours.
Yes.
Like, there is places to play all over. Make Utica essentially home, make it home, and you maybe play your hometown maybe once every 6 months or something. But make sure you're out there doing the work in other markets.
Totally.
We have a band house for the studio.
You still got the fort.
Yeah, we do. We have
yeah.
a spot for bands to stay in a separate building in Oneida Square, right across from the museum. And we always pitch this place as being centrally isolated. It's, we really are surrounded by forests. It's beautiful. It's rural. It's pastoral. But you are central. You're right on the thruway in the middle of the state. Like you said, in 6 hours, I forget what the statistic is, but you can be in basically every big city in the Northeast within 6 hours.
Indeed.
That's incredible.
It is.
It's an incredible gift, our geography.
And there's so many great music scenes right around our area. I mean, Syracuse is flourishing. Rochester's always got a great music
Rochester's
scene. Rochester's
great.
killing. And
Yeah.
all different genres, too. It's not just one particular
No,
genre.
it used to be a little bit lopsided, but it's really
spread out now.
I don't know what's happening.
And they have used the arts really as a weapon of economic development.
And you're
they
right.
are very forward about what they've done.
They were no better off than we were.
No.
Worse, I mean.
Oh, worse,
We're
yeah.
all in the same boat up here, right? All
Right.
these Erie Canal cities are in the exact same boat, no pun intended. But they've been really, really aggressive about using arts for that, and I think that Utica could take a page out of their book.
I agree. In fact, we should.
We could be a little Rochester, no problem.
I agree. And the powers that be here in the area should take a look at what Rochester is doing and
Absolutely.
maybe use it as
Their
a
arts
formula to what's
district, I
going
don't know
on.
if you've ever been
Absolutely.
down there.
Oh, yeah. I
And
love
they do
Rochester.
those shows, what you were always talking about, those art shows on porches, and
Yep.
you just walk
Porch
around.
Fest.
Porch Fest.
Yeah,
Porch
yeah,
Fest.
stuff like I mean, that's, hello.
I mean, our downtown is really Genesee Street, right? There's a tiny node that's downtown Bag Square, but we have a horizontal downtown. So can you imagine a Porch Fest all along Genesee Street, and everybody could just, whatever they do, if you have an Etsy store, put your craft stuff out there. If you're a band, go play out there. If you're a writer, go have a little clinic out there, sell a book. I think that that's the kind of stuff that really would build a community, and it would foster this kind of scene that you're talking about.
You can do different
It would be a
areas
lot
or
of
neighborhoods
fun.
or something.
It would
there's
be a lot of fun.
There's a lot of fun to be had using arts for economic development.
Indeed. And you know what? The art community locally has been flourishing lately.
Absolutely.
It's growing.
Absolutely.
And there's such a great contingency of great artists that are coming together as a group, as a collective, and doing some really cool things around town.
Four Elements is unbelievably great.
Indeed.
Really, what Vartan is doing over there is
And he's got a great name. I mean, it's really just the best.
he's the
name.
whole package. That guy.
And all the crew that was over at Sickenburger doing all the
Oh,
art
yeah,
down there
definitely.
and BB Design and what
Definitely.
Angela's doing there. A lot of cool people in this town doing some really cool things. And they could have left at any moment.
Right.
We all could have. Jeff, you could have left at any moment, but you decided to
And there's
stay.
many times I sit there and go, whoa, what if I did? And should I have? All that Monday morning as you get pushing 50 and you start to go, man. But honestly, I mean, barring any real stroke of luck or something, it'd be pretty difficult for me to be in the position I'm in here someplace else.
No.
You know,
No,
it'd be pretty,
he's right.
It'd be damn well impossible.
You can't be this impactful in your community anywhere else. I'm telling you, I've been there. I've lived a lot of places in this country. I've been fortunate in that way. The grass is not greener. It's AstroTurf. You know, you only think that that's better. It's
deep.
It's really, really not. It's really not. If you are awake to what you have here and you have a little bit of hustle in you and you put your back into it, you can have a great quality of life that you cannot duplicate anyplace else.
Indeed.
Because you're working all the time.
I mean, we can, if we put our nose to the grindstone or whatever, which we're about to start to do again, you know, we can have a significant impact, us meaning our particular business. We can have a very significant impact on a scene or on a community. We can push the needle in a way that you kind of, it's very difficult to do in other places. You know what I mean? Like, we can lay claim to having some contact with almost every musician in the area. That's, you know, I mean, I don't think a lot of people get that. You know what I'm trying to say? That's
know
impactful.
You can't do that in other cities.
You know.
You can't.
And you can't, you know, again, back to this kind of compassionate capitalism. You can't give back in the ways that we do. We do a lot of stuff people don't realize, and we don't want anybody to realize. I'm not going to talk about it. But there are a lot of ways that you can give back, and you have the freedom, the time, the money, the space to do things that you just can't do it in cities because every single second has to be profitable for you.
Yeah, you're trying to figure out ways to make that back closet into another
Right.
studio.
Yeah.
Quickly.
Yeah.
So that you can, you know, bang out another $200 to $500 a day.
Yep.
You know, I mean, just so you, because you know, they just jacked your Con Ed bill or whatever. You know what I mean? And we don't really, you know, I'm not saying we don't have, like, oh, it's a piece of cake. No. I mean, it's got its own set of challenges as well.
Indeed.
You know what I mean? The fact that, yeah, you actually have worked with everybody in town. Now what? That can happen to you. Like, hello, the phone's not ringing. Why? Well, because we did everything already.
You burned out the resources.
I don't mean to be like we've done all the bands. Not at all. But but what I'm saying is that, you know, when you do a piece of, like,
pool isn't
when we
as
did
big.
the Street Rock record, you weren't coming in another month to do more. I mean, you did your thing. You'll move on. Maybe in a year or something you come back, but. You know, so how many bands, how many artists are there, and how many times do they come through the door, and blah, blah, blah. And you know what? Like, maybe they don't want to come to us. They want to go someplace else the next time. And then the third time they come back. So you might not see somebody for 3 years. So
Hence the band house.
you got
We
to
have
try,
this
yeah.
great 6-hour catch basin for
That's
bands,
what we
and
try to
you know,
do.
we try to keep a foot in local stuff. But you know, at least half of our business is not local at all,
Right.
And that's really fun in a completely other way. You know, we get to work on a wide variety of projects, and that's a really cool thing too.
Yeah, you meet all kinds of crazy people.
Yes, everybody's interesting. We don't have a client that's not interesting.
No, I bet. Oh, you're dealing with musicians every day.
Yeah, you know.
You know it's going to be a little left of
But
center.
you know, and sometimes we don't do like much. We just do the drums, and they all go, and off they go because they want to use the room, and then they go back to their little, you know, apartment in Queens or whatever they're doing, and bang out the rest of the record. But and sometimes they do the whole thing, soup to nuts, and stay with us for a long period of time. You know, it's there's no formula to it, really. Really, it's scratch.
Yeah, that's all it
honestly.
is.
I mean,
I want to back up though, Pam. You talked about living in other cities. What brought you to Utica? As long as I've known you, I don't know your backstory about what brought you here.
Oh, well, I'm an only child. I grew, you know, my parents were educational gypsies, so I've, you know, lived in Michigan and Baltimore and a little bit in the South and a little bit in the Southwest. But I grew up primarily in the San Francisco Bay Area. Went to high school and college, undergraduate school there. And in 2000, my uncle died of a heroin overdose. And we came back, and we never came here. I'm Irish and Italian. I'm related to half this town, and I didn't even know them. So, you know, in my 30s, we came back for the funeral. I was like, hey, this place is kind of great. You know, look at all the potential. Look at all this family I have. There's no traffic. It's so cheap to live here, you know.
And the food's great.
The food's great. You know, the people are interesting. You know, they're genuinely interesting. They're not poser interesting. They're authentic. And there's an incredibly diverse types of people here. And I'm really attracted to that. So I didn't mean to stay. I decided to just, and San Francisco was, even then at that point, all the cool fringy stuff was getting priced out. The tech bros were starting to happen, and all the big clubs, the big warehouse clubs were starting to close, and the vibe was changing. And it's hard if you've lived in a place before it's great to appreciate its greatness when it becomes really popular. So I put everything in the car and I turned left. I drove around the country for a year, just kind of deciding what I wanted to do, and ended up here just kind of as a lark. Stayed with my cousin for a little while. And then my parents moved here. My mom was quasi-retiring. My dad bought the church. There was a church for sale. How random is that? How do you own a church? But we bought a church in 2001. And that project started to happen. I stayed on board for a little bit and helped him open that in 2003. And then I started publishing the newspaper for a little bit, did that, and met Jeff.
Yeah.
And that was it.
Yeah.
That's it.
And it's all
That was
downhill
the
from
end of
there.
everything.
We're all in the coffin.
End of story.
That's
With
when
the
you
lid
lost all
on.
your potential.
Start
So-
chucking dirt on it.
Yeah.
That's it. That's
So
it.
he's the reason I stayed
Yeah.
initially. But, we choose to be here. We don't have to be here. We choose to
Well,
be here.
we don't have kids,
Right.
so we kind of our choices are a little bit more varied than most people's our age.
Yeah.
So obviously there's an advantage to you could just you could just take over the studio that already exists. I mean, certainly that's that definitely is pretty good reason to stay.
Yeah.
But still,
it's a gorgeous facility.
yeah. Totally. I know.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's a once in a lifetime opportunity. But we still have, there were definitely I don't know. Are we going to stay? It was back and forth.
Yeah, we did a lot of soul searching. We did a lot of traveling, deciding, really making a very conscious choice about what we wanted to do. And again, for all the reasons we talked about, we felt like there was a lot of opportunity here. We could have a lifestyle that we really like. We can travel. This is a great home base. And we could be satisfied, with our lives.
I just wanted, as I always wanted to. I remember coming up as a musician, and it was kind of it was a drag. You didn't really have a lot of people doing a lot of stuff to help you. I mean, Bob had his place, but that wasn't for a little while. And then, I mean, I'm not saying there weren't studios. I guess I just wanted to be. Bob's been long gone in terms of having a place for hire. I'm talking about Aquaviva.
Yep.
Rock.
So I just felt like people around here, deserve a chance to have something cool. You know what I mean? Like it's Utica. We're not all hill people here. Let's do something. Let's be like, hey, what the hell's that? And it's for people. We get people from all over the place, Toronto, everywhere.
How do they seek you out? Through the internet?
Usually,
Pretty much.
Sometimes
it's a
word of
lot
mouth,
of word
though.
of mouth.
Is it?
If you get 5 guys, usually guys, in a band, at least one of them's going to have another project. So they come here, they have usually a really nice time. They see that it's affordable. They're like, oh, hey, I've got this other project. Then they bring that project, and it's like dominoes. We don't do any advertising. We don't have a sign. It's not, that doesn't work for this kind of business in this area. So really, it's a lot of word of mouth. And that's a kind of a slower, a slow burn. It's a more organic process, but it's very sustainable and it's very gratifying.
Producers will come too.
Yeah, right.
If a
people
band
will
brings in
bring
a
outside
guy,
projects here.
and he'll come to us after and
Usually a guy.
You know,
Like an
I got-
outside engineer or something?
Yeah, exactly. And they'll be like, I got this, this was really great. You guys were awesome. This was fantastic. I got this other thing. I'm gonna talk to my guy back and see if they'll come here. This has been fabulous. That kind of thing.
We have that going on right now.
Yeah,
Moose.
absolutely. Yeah. And it's not a thing you can do a Yellow Pages ad for.
Right.
And people don't sit around. I mean, you imagine you guys, in a band, it's all going, we need to record something. Well, get out the phone book,
There's
know.
no phone book, old man.
I know. But you know what I mean? It really is just kind of like you got to just do work and put it out there and go see bands. And
Let's check the directory.
Yes.
that doesn't happen.
Look out.
Look it up.
I see the Better Business Bureau is giving you 4 stars.
You mentioned opening the church, which you turned into a castle recording studio back in 2001 with your stepfather.
Yep.
When did you guys take it over and turn it into Big Blue North?
He ran it for 10 years.
10 years?
We took it in October 2013 officially.
Okay.
Well, I mean, we took it in July, but I mean, it opened in October.
We opened, yeah.
It must have been a dream for you, Jeff, to have that facility.
Well, it's terrifying.
Come on your lap,
you know
right?
what I mean?
It's
Yes.
like owning a Ferrari.
It's watch
you know?
what you, yeah, it's a little bit of watch what you wish for. You know, like okay, asshole here now what? Now why do you suck?
Here you go, big mouth.
Can't blame anything. You know what I mean? You used to be able to go, well, if I only had the blah, blah. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like a mix or something doesn't come out well, and you know, I said, well, I'm only working on my laptop in my spare room, man. You know, if I had it, okay, so now why do I suck? You know, because I got everything I need ever.
You do.
Can't make a record there, then then you're the problem. And that's what it should be, you know. But so it's scary, you know, and
But it's like a roller coaster scary. It's a good scary.
I'm not scared like I
was
don't.
gonna say, are you scared anymore? You can't.
Yeah, absolutely. Like
Yeah.
the same feling you have when
Every
you get on
day.
stage. You know what
Every
I'm saying?
day.
It's
I
the
don't
same
get
feeling.
scared on stage.
Well, that's because you're usually intoxicated. But
No, I don't have any kind of stage fright whatsoever.
no, you know, no,
Did you
never have.
butterflies,
Never,
nothing.
you had never.
Never have.
You're just
Well,
not,
I get
not wired like that.
I don't get stage fright, but I do get a little sort of like, okay, you know, here we go. We're gonna go do this, you know, and I enjoy that.
Yeah.
So that's what gets me hooked on stuff. So, you know, I'm not an adrenaline junkie, but I do like that feeling of like I'm not quite sure how this is going to go, which is honestly that's every session. It's here we go. You know what I mean? It's a flight.
Different project
Yeah.
every day.
It's a
You never-
flight. And today we had a great flight. And yesterday a seagull went in the engine and it got hairy for a minute. You know,
There's always going to be a curveball.
you know, it's just there's a storm coming. You know, we got to go this way. I mean, it's very difficult to sort of, you know, that's why when you get better at it, you get better at it because you get more consistent. So in other words, like no matter what gets thrown at you, you still sort of land the plane, and the passengers are sort of unaware that a bird went into the engine.
Right.
You know, but when it first happened, it was like, you know, and you went upside down and everybody's shit fell on. You know what I'm trying to say? So I would say that's what's happened now. I'm not so much terrified as I am. I'm confident now, but I still like that sort of like feeling of like top of the roller coaster.
Like, what the heck?
Here comes the band,
Yeah.
and you know, a lot of times we never meet them, so it's like, hi, you know, Dan. Bass, you know, Ray,
Get tracking.
You know, like, hi, Dan, Ray, there's the bathroom.
Yeah.
You know,
All right, ready to go?
Get to work.
get to work.
Yes.
Unpack your
Tick
shit.
tock. Let's go.
Because, you know, they don't have a lot of dough.
You're talking about the bird flying into the plane. It reminds me of the time when we were tracking the Street Rock album and the lights went off in the middle of my tracking session. Like something happened. There was an accident or hit a pole.
No, it was lightning. It was a
Is that what it was?
Yeah, it
and
was
the lightning hit something and like the whole block went out of power. And it was just right in the middle
Right
of
on
the
your
group.
note. Boom.
Right, it's just boom, out. And it's like, God damn it, you know, things happen, you know. But you work through it, push through it, and
have.
we got a great record done.
Well, part of what we offer people is not hitting the record button and a piece of software goes, right?
Right.
Like anybody can, a 5-year-old could do that literally. You know, it's past all that. That's not what you would come to us for.
Right.
It's not, oh, we're going to record you. You know,
No, it's rock and roll fantasy camp.
it's a whole it's a whole many other levels up from that.
And that's why I loved working with you, and will in the future too do the same. Is because you're very passionate about it, and you play the role of the extra man in the band, like the sixth man
Absolutely.
of the band,
Absolutely.
and you get really involved with it, and you're like, hey, you know, this isn't working. Let's try this, or hey, the keyboards would sound really cool right here, or you get involved with it, and that's important. And people, I personally love the constructive criticism. You made me cry one night. You did. He made me cry one night.
But you're a better bass player because of it.
I was the
guarantee-
next day, but not right now.
No.
But no, for real, we were just, I wasn't getting it. And you're like, you know what, bro? And this is the other thing is you have to be like a psychiatrist with these bands.
Oh,
Be like,
yeah.
Listen, dude, you're not getting it. So maybe you go home and just take the night off, go home, get something to eat, smoke one, go to bed.
Mm-hmm.
Tomorrow's another day. And that's pretty much what happened. I got home and I was in the self-loathing. I suck. I can't stand it, blah, blah, blah. The next day I was fine. He came in and we knocked knocked it out of the park. I think maybe the next day is when the lights went out.
Yeah.
But but that's super important, and bands want that guidance and that knowledge, and that you provide, my friend.
Well, I appreciate that. I hope that comes across. Yeah, that is kind of part of what we're throwing out there for consumption, so to speak. Is there's a space, there's some microphones, there's a computer. We can record audio. Okay, that's great. But there's so much more behind all of that, and that's what you're getting at.
Yeah, to your point, psychology is a huge part of it.
It is.
A huge part of it.
A lot of these guys come in with egos thinking, well, you could play out in the bars all day long and you sound fine, but do you sound polished in the studio? And there's such a difference, and people don't realize that there's such a difference. You play all day in the garage and out the bars and stuff like that, but are you really getting it when it comes to putting that click on?
Yeah.
Are you really getting it?
We always tell people it's kind of like a three-legged stool, right? You got to learn how to play your instrument. You got to learn how to play your instrument out in front of people, and you got to learn how to play your instrument in the studio. And if you don't have all those three things, you're not really a pro-level musician.
Well, I'll just say this.
They're different skills.
Yes, and then that's why you had guys like, and still do, but certainly back in the heyday of session guys. You had the Wrecking Crews and the stuff. Those guys though weren't they weren't playing out gigs,
right?
You know what I mean?
They were
That's
just
not what
in-house.
their thing was.
That's it.
So everybody has their thing. Some people have it all, but some people specialize, and that's all fine too.
Right.
And some people are just guns for hire to go play on tour, and that's all they do. They don't get near a studio. But I think the greatest misunderstanding of artists that don't have a super ton of experience that we come across is just that. The idea that basically all it is a gig that we record.
We come set up, play through a couple times, and we're done. That's the album.
Yeah. Like, okay, I'm literally...
It's not that easy. It's definitely not that easy.
We've had these kinds of
conversations,
and I'm not going to say who, and I don't even remember who. So
doesn't matter who.
And it doesn't matter, and it's not to make fun, but it is to illustrate this point. So the potential client was saying, we've got something like 8 songs, and they're about 4 minutes apiece. So we figure it takes us maybe 2 hours tops to set everything up, and 8 songs. If we play each song at 4 minutes apiece, is 32 minutes. So each song we play twice. So the whole thing should take about 3 hours. Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Dun dun dun.
So and sometimes they're you don't know what you don't know, right? So we explain, and we don't obviously get an attitude or anything. We just say, no, this is why it's not going to work out that way. And some folks are like, educate. Oh, okay, great, thanks. I didn't know that. But that was the case with this. They were like, well, that's crazy. And I was like, well, I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you. I mean, I suppose we don't. There are other places that go faster than we do.
Yeah.
They
kind of push them out.
Yeah, we always like
into
our places like a steak dinner kind of thing versus a fast food restaurant. You know what I mean? And I'm not knocking one or the other.
Do you want steakums or do you want London broil?
Well, how much time you got? You got 15 minutes? You're going to go grab whatever you can and make the best choice based on that. That's your critical decision maker. Yep. How much money you got? How much time you got? But if time and money are unlimited, you're not bringing, your anniversary date to probably not going to Wendy's. Well, maybe, I don't know. But you know what I'm trying to say.
I get you.
So really, that's the only thing that's the largest factor is time, because time equals money.
Absolutely.
So, and people try to do too many things in too little time.
Have you ever had a situation where you had to tell the band, listen, guys, stop. Just stop right now.
Yes.
Please, you don't know what you're doing. Go home, learn your instrument.
In not so many words.
Yeah.
But
bands aren't ready to come in the studio and record. They think they are, but lots of times you'll be in your practice space. You can't really hear what's going on. So you come in the studio and it's like being naked in front of a 360-degree mirror. I mean, these microphones are so sensitive they can like read your thoughts. So maybe the band gets in a fight because they're like, that's not what you're playing. That's not what we play. There's all kinds of ways it can go terribly wrong.
We gave them their money back too. We didn't.
Oh yeah.
Because again, I'm not a predatory. I was like, you guys don't belong here. You shouldn't be here. You're not ready for this.
Told them straight up.
I can't make this what you want.
Yeah.
Even with all of the power that I have, and I have an enormous amount of power to manipulate things.
Right.
And I was like, this is just, you guys shouldn't be here. I don't feel comfortable taking your money. You shouldn't be here. And we gave
At least
them
you're honest with them. You have to be.
You have to
instead
be.
of trying to push
Yeah.
it through and putting out crap because
Exactly.
it's also
'Cause
your
our
name.
name's on it
Your
too.
name's behind it too.
And our pedigree of the shop is way more important to me.
Yeah.
Than this isn't money I'm retiring to the Bahamas with. It's $500. It's $1,000. It's $300. I'm not saying it's nothing.
Right.
I'm just saying, this is not
It's not make or break.
life-changing money.
Yeah.
Here's your money. Go home and practice.
Yeah.
Call me when you think you got this done, and we'll make something cool. Because I don't want our name attached to this thing either.
And you don't want people to have a bad time.
Right.
If they're not going to be able to do it, they're going to get frustrated. They're going to
Yeah.
fight with each other.
Totally.
It's going to be a bad vibe in the studio. The project's not going to sound right because the performances won't be there because everybody's all stressed out. Just bypass the whole thing.
Our whole point
If you
was-
can see that the train is going off a cliff, you better stop the train.
Mm-hmm. Our whole point was like exactly that. Just saying, helping these individuals.
Yeah.
I mean, sure, we take their money. Yeah. I mean, we have bills, and this is what we offer a service, and you pay for the service. That's the way, but it's not, we're far more interested in the end result, than
The process and the end result.
know.
For lots of these bands, at the lower level, honestly, not many people are ever going to hear the record. So you want them to be able to look back on it in 50 years and be like, I did that and it was really great and it was such a good time. You want them to look back and have good pictures and memories. And, it is rock and roll fantasy camp. And that's all it's ever going to be for some people. So you try really hard to just make it great.
And that's the one thing I loved about working there too. It's the experience too.
Mm-hmm.
You bring
that's
this
what you're gonna
atmosphere.
carry with you.
You got this vibe going. I mean, it's a great facility, but there's just the experience behind the whole thing, and your coaching and your knowledge.
coaching is the word.
Yeah, and it is because that's kind of what you do. You're a coach,
Absolutely.
and between all that and your guidance and everything is what really sold me on everything. A couple comments I got to get to. A couple people are chiming in. Bernie Freitag checking in. He's saying Big
hi,
Blue
Bernie.
North had the lead singer of Clap Your Hands and Say Yeah do a solo acoustic show a few years ago.
Yes, we did.
Do you guys have plans on doing that again?
We are not a venue where we don't have the certificate of occupancy to have things in there. So that was a private kind of recording gig.
Okay.
So we can't do that. We would love to do more private recording gigs, and we're actually talking with Oren and Kim at the other side to do a jazz,
Very cool.
at least one of those. And Copper City Brewing Company, we're talking with them about something.
Great folks over there.
Yes,
Yeah.
fantastic.
Mike
Big
Coley.
shout out to those guys.
Mike Coley's a
They're
good
doing
man.
a great thing. So, there are, that was a living room show, and we're probably not going to do a lot of those, no. But that was a good time.
Yeah, for sure. Gabe checking in. He's saying people will complain about anything in all capital letters, and
Him included.
Yeah, I just about to say.
He's the worst offender. It's one of his best personality traits is that he's so grouchy.
Our boy Nate Keita checking in from Stoneworks Artisan and Beside the Sun and Follow the Muse and all the other accolades he's got.
Yeah, I know. Dot.
I hear it, and I'm gonna drop this one, but I hear Autumn Fire's gonna be doing the show.
When's that?
That's what I heard. Anyways, Nate's saying best room to record drums. I wasn't supposed to say that, but I'm going to.
Well, Nate's an amazing drummer.
This just in.
He
So
is.
that helps a lot.
It's just in.
Pleasure to record you, Nate.
Yeah, for sure. And Nate is a monster drummer.
He's a monster.
I'm gonna go hang out with
Well,
him later.
like
And a good guy,
this
and a
is
really
absolutely-
talented craftsman.
Absolutely. As you can see the bar
Yeah,
behind you, he
yeah.
killed it on that bar.
Yep.
Also, our boy Max checking in, speaking of Autumn Fire.
Oh, Max.
And he's saying a beautiful
What a
place.
loser.
Well, he's calling you his spirit animal. He says, Jeff is my spirit animal.
And that's all you need to know. That shows you all that Max has got a long way to go.
He's finally
because I'm his spirit animal.
Right, he's crawling out from underneath
What am
that
I? Am
rock.
I like a what would I be?
Oh, boy.
Yeah,
that's a
exactly.
loaded
That's
question.
a
You don't
loaded
want me
question.
to answer that in public.
Have Max. I'd like to know what Max's thoughts are.
I
on
think
that.
he'd be like a teenage lion mixed with like a monkey,
a hyper lion.
a hyper lion. There
Yeah.
you go. That would be your spirit
That's
animal.
interesting. That's interesting. Turtle big man. That's what I am.
Gabe's saying he has video of that legendary of the night that the power went out.
He does?
Yeah, he took video of that.
Oh, well, he should post that.
It was posted.
Oh,
it was
oh,
posted
oh.
back then.
Okay.
He has video of that. That was a lot of fun. Speaking, Gabe's on the horn right now. What's up with Modus?
Well, I think the same thing that's always up with Modus, which
Just
is
kind of studio chilling.
Well, so the intent was this, right? And it's still the intent. I don't mean to speak of it in past.
You're going to break this news in public?
Yeah, this is what Kurt Loder.
This is a major
Nobody even knows who Kurt Loder is. That's how old I am.
All right,
Andy
Kurt.
Rooney.
Now over to you, Kurt.
You Downs. Listen,
Walter Crowe.
so we got together and thought, it would be fun to play again, but nobody was really that, at least at the time, and not that interested in the gigging thing,
Right.
for many reasons.
I can't blame you.
But we thought, hey, it's one of those things like this, see, where you get to this point in your life where you're sort of like, okay, so while I can still do things with all my body parts, maybe we should play and make some more music before, God forbid, something happens to one of us, which inevitably it will. So, yes, great. We start writing and jamming at the studio, but everybody's got so much going on, and myself, I'm probably the guiltiest. Obviously, we can't be, rehearsing, when I got sessions, and I got sessions, hopefully a lot. So, time. It's just no time.
Yeah.
It's the will is total. I mean, and we've been writing, and it's been great, and it's different stuff.
So there's new material out
yeah,
there.
yeah. It's not finished by any stretch, but it's loads of. It's probably 2 ideas worth of ideas. Did I say 2 ideas? Worth
2 ideas worth of ideas.
Yeah. Anyways,
Everything twice.
just say no, kids.
Glitch in the Matrix.
2 hours worth of ideas, and they're great. They're different, and we're it's not quite the same band anymore, but it's still us, and it's very, very cool. But
It is cool. Sounds good.
you got me. I
Right.
mean, we can't.
You
Someday.
probably don't have time to write anyways, do you?
No,
No.
me personally,
Yeah.
no.
These are just old stuff you're
No,
rehashing,
this is
or
new.
This
We
is
just
all new?
sit down and play and
Cool.
record it.
Yeah.
Because I happen to, have a studio.
Yeah.
But so that's handy. But and it's still, even with all those advantages, it's just like last time we rehearsed, I think it was May.
Mm-hmm.
And we just can't, because Kyle is coaching soccer now. So literally every night.
He's a trained killer now.
Right, whatever. Yeah, and he's a trained killer, exactly. So, and Gabe works on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. He works 3 days a week, 12-hour days. So that's the opposite of everybody. So you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's hard
and
to get together.
I'm flexible, except I might be, not able to rehearse for like 5 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So it's crazy, unfortunately.
Gabe's saying your spirit animal would be a sloth with wings.
I thought sloth. I was thinking sloth.
Sloth with wings.
With wings.
And he's also saying he's ready. He's waiting on everybody else.
I know, exactly. Me too. Now we're waiting for Kyle. And it's just, what are we going to do? Yell at him and say you can't coach your kid playing soccer? I mean,
Priorities.
Jeff, I say this every day. Modus, Only the Sleeping Will Know, is my all-time favorite local album to ever come out of this
Yeah, that's
area. I
nice of you.
love it.
Thank you.
I mean, I'm still listening to it on heavy rotation. Where were you in your mind, in your place at that time when you were writing that album? Were you in a dark, dark place at that time?
Let's see. So,
I know it was so
Yes.
long ago.
He was.
2004. Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of transition, a lot of. I mean, I you make it sound like I wrote. I mean, there were 3 other twisted
I know,
weirdos.
but a lot of the lyrics are all
Oh,
you.
the lyrics, sure. Those are probably largely mine.
I'm speaking on lyrics.
Lyrics, yes. Well, I've always, dude. I'm not a particularly healthy guy in my head, so that's honestly not that much different from anything I've ever written. I hate to say, that's my way
I
of.
think you'd be darker now, even.
Yeah, I mean, it's my way.
Yeah.
It's my way of coping. or
It's a
whatever.
terrible world right now.
He's a Sith Lord.
Well, you talk about Gabe Oram, for people who don't know, the guitar player extraordinaire. He's happy-go-lucky kind of thing, but he's a twisted.
Yeah.
Rob Barada, dude. That's one of the most twisted people you'll ever
Right,
meet.
don't piss him off. He'll shoot you.
Yeah, exactly. And then fix your car.
But the thing about all of you guys is that you all have wicked good senses of humor.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you're all
Yes,
about
You're
it.
all dark and
Very
twisted, but
much.
you're funny.
Yeah.
And when you're together, it's side-splittingly
We do
fun.
not take it seriously until the moment we click the song off, and then it's deadly serious. But that's the kind of way I think you kind of got to be. You start believing your own bullshit and you get into trouble.
There's one particular song on that album that I do have to ask you about because I've been connecting with that song a lot. Is that Odessa song? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So what's that about?
Well, do you want me to tell you?
Yeah, I do. For some reason, it's...
What do you think it's... What do you get out of it?
What do I get out of it?
Yeah, I want to see if you're in the ballpark of where I was coming from. Because it really doesn't matter. Your truth
is that about somebody that passed away?
Yeah.
It is?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel the loss in that song, you know, and it triggers with me right now in my current situation, what's going on in my personal life. I don't want to get into any of that, but I was listening to it the other day, and I just so connect with that song.
Yeah.
And it's just, there's so truthful, and there's meanings behind it. And
the idea of the song is this, that a couple, right, is who are very close to each other, we'll say the spouse, they have a spot that they always go to, and it happens to be a lake in this case. And the spouse gets very ill, and it knows that she's going to, or he or she is going to die, and would rather not suffer. So asks if the spouse would please drown her in the lake, where they could always remember. So he does so. And then goes to visit the lake all the time and is so tormented by... He misses her so much. It's sort of almost a Shakespearean, like Romeo and Juliet kind of thing. Mm-hmm. He misses her so much that he jumps into the lake himself to sort of be with her again. That's he couldn't bear to be without her.
It's almost a double suicide.
Exactly.
Type.
Isn't that lovely?
Happy little tune, really.
It's a top 10 hit, kids. Sing along with Uncle Jeff.
Party song, really?
All Motus songs, very big party song.
But you can feel the emotion in that song, and that's where I connected, I think, with that song, is the emotion behind it.
It's the loss, yeah. It's a loss, and also recognizing that it's sort of one of those, like, I can't live without, almost, in a way, you know. Don't know what to do, you know. And I don't for some reason I don't respond to happy music.
Gabe's saying such a happy story.
Yeah, as they all are. You write some lyrics then, damn it. Write me some sunshiny shit, because I can't do it.
Have you ever written a happy song?
No,
probably not, huh?
I don't enjoy happy music. Mm-hmm. You know, I mean, one of my favorite bands in the world is The Cure, or Nine Inch Nails, or Soundgarden, or you know, I mean, I'm not saying it's all, but by and large, the music that I respond to usually has some kind of melancholy or sorrow, or at least something poignant that makes you think, and I connect to that. I have a hard time with a lot of music that's very popular, in like even the jam scene, where it's just basically about nothing and nobody cares, and that's a good vibe. But I can't. You know, you look at me, I'm not that guy.
You're the Sith Lord. Well,
I just like something that, you know,
substance.
Yeah,
right? Substance.
I like it to have some cinematic quality to it.
Gotcha.
You know,
some
something
pathos.
Sure, like Shakespeare, like you said.
Yeah, something that just takes you somewhere and makes you think of something or see something or reminds you of something or invokes something and connects you to it. That it's not just this sort of meaningless thing that you tap your feet to. And I mean, there's a time and place for everything, of course. I mean, you wouldn't be pumping Odessa at a birthday party,
right?
And that would be weird.
That would be weird.
Depends on the birthday, I suppose.
Well, I suppose, but so I mean, I'm just that guy. I'm the put the headphones on guy. You know, from back in the day.
And that's what that album is.
Yeah, well, that's what I try to do with everybody that comes into the studio, is try to make them something that, you know, in 10 years they can put it on and there's still like stuff to enjoy in it. You know, you don't always get to. You know, if somebody's got 2 days to do 4 songs, you're going to be lucky to finish.
Yeah.
Well, and it's not everybody's intent.
And it's not always appropriate. Exactly. You know, I mean, putting that kind of aesthetic on top of an old Maine song, although maybe not. I mean, they could write something kind of dark and creepy, and it could be great. You know what I mean? We're doing a Powell record, solo record, in a week and a half.
Well, that's going to be a blast.
And we're going to do it.
No,
just
computer.
him and John and me and another note and just tape machine and no computer.
Wow. Cool.
Just tape.
Down home
live off
strip.
the
Live off the
floor,
floor. See you
just
later.
Live off the floor.
Record it.
Take
stripped
2.
down. Old school.
I didn't play that right. All right, do it again.
Do it again.
And then that's it. It's never going in the computer. Mm-hmm. So that's awesome. But I guess my point is that he kind of is invoking, or he was saying to me that he had some darker ideas for this one. He was listening to some stuff and he was giving me his references, and they were all sort of like, okay. So again, it. I'm here to serve the artist.
Well, your point of view as an artist is not your point of view as an engineer.
Unless somebody
They're
asks me to.
Right. They're different things.
Unless you ask me to, which means producing. In other words, some bands pay me to produce them. Trampoline Jet Stream, Not Robots, this band, the T Club from Philly, Mike Powell. I mean, basically, we produced that. So some people want my Sithness and
Sithness. You
So,
down with the Sithness?
Oh, no. Oh, that's terrible.
No, I
great.
like
It's
it.
great. It's a good one.
There are some great bands though locally that are doing it. And you mentioned Trampoline Jet Stream. You're working on an album with that. How's that coming along?
We're working on something cooler than that, though.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
what are we doing?
Do you want to relinquish that?
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead. You do it.
Well, anyways, that Trampoline Jet Stream album is so much better than anything I've had a pleasure to be a part of, and I've had a pleasure to be a part of some really good stuff. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
That is going to be such a good record. Not just it's good for them, it's good for people from Utica.
No, it's a great journey.
I mean, it's like
is.
a fuck you good record.
Oh, good. Good. I can't wait to hear it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, holy shit.
Yeah.
These guys, they're gone. When Nick gets his shit straightened out with his voice, which is all it is, and he's almost there, he texted me or messaged me and said, I think like January or February I should be back. Because the music's done.
I'm out of time.
Beautiful. I can't wait.
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
super
compilation.
excited.
Go ahead. You.
So part of our function in staying here and doing what we do is that we see ourselves as kind of an incubator and a magnifier for things. And we see a lot of really great, cool bands happening right now, and we see a scene kind of starting to form along a couple of genres, and we see bands really hustling and getting out there and consistently really doing it and challenging people and pushing. And so we want to do another compilation record.
Well, we must mention there was one before.
There was one when we
Maybe-
first opened to help us work out the kinks
That
and
was
get to know everybody.
2014, so.
But this is part of the, we had hoped to do that as a series, but then some things happened in our personal life and we didn't get to. So we're now back to that, and we're going to be working on a second one. We're going to start to record it over the winter in the new year. And I don't know, we shouldn't tell them the bands, should we?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, why not?
ahead.
Come on. Give
Well,
me
I don't
the
know all of
exclusive.
them. I don't.
Trampoline Jet Stream is one
Yeah,
of them.
it's going to be them, Black River, Annie,
Annie in the Water.
Old Main. What did I just say?
You said Annie.
Yeah, Annie in the Water, Old Main, Tramp,
Substance.
Substance,
See?
Black River,
We're going to forget somebody. That's why I didn't wanna do it.
Put the disclaimer out. Sorry we missed you.
I know. I feel
well, there's a
terrible.
couple. See, I don't know if we're gonna. There's a couple
There are a
people
couple
I
that
want to do,
haven't
but
committed, so-
I'm not getting a commitment, or I haven't figured out yet.
Mm-hmm.
So we could throw a Modus track on there. I don't know if we ever get together again. That could happen. It could
How
be
many
out.
songs you looking to put out
Maybe
there?
because we're gonna do it on vinyl. We're gonna
Oh, wow.
literally put it out, and the bands get to sell it too. And we're gonna figure out what to call it, but it's definitely a celebration of kind of what seems to be Copper Vein Clones. We're doing that. They're on there too. So maybe 10, but if it's
Depends
only
on the
8,
length of
if
the
it's only
songs
8,
and all
because
that,
it's
you know,
vinyl, we got to watch it,
technical
right? You get about 42 minutes. So.
Yeah. So what is it with vinyl that it's so expensive to produce?
Yeah, good question. I don't know. I mean, I think it's just because nobody's doing it, so
Oh, okay.
the supply, the
There's a
demand
great
outweighs
demand,
the supply
and
by
there's a small
bunch.
supply, and there are technical things. I won't bore you with, like the lathe that cuts the thing. There's one place in Japan that makes them, and it's this 900-year-old
think that's been
person, and
changed, though.
all of that stuff. Is,
Only one?
yeah, there was.
I don't know if that's exactly true. You
Well,
think
it
that's
was
exactly
true. It was true. I read a whole thing on Tape Up about it. But the infrastructure of vinyl production, because it wasn't popular for so long, really dwindled. So you had nobody making new lathes. The backlog was amazing. And what's happened in the music industry is you have really big labels and really small labels. The middle has been hollowed out. So the big labels, what they're doing is reissuing all the back catalog of stuff to make money. So now you're not just making a record, you're in line behind the 6 box sets of stuff that are coming out for Christmas. So it takes a very long time to do it. There's way more demand because it's hip now than there is supply.
Yeah, I mean, they basically...
And it's a very technical process. There are a lot of steps that go into making a record. People don't, I think, have any concept of how much work
No,
it
they
is.
wrote that technology off, and it came back like Frankenstein, It wasn't supposed to.
Right.
So everybody kind of just, it just forgot about it. Everybody who knew how to do it retired or died. The machines all disappeared or dismantled or forgotten about. And then all of a sudden, oops, we need them all again. Oh, holy shit, nobody does this anymore.
But
They'll catch up to it.
Yeah, they are catching up to it. It's a great thing to see, and new facilities come online every year. Jack White has been really, love him or hate him, he's been really instrumental in the vinyl resurgence, and what he's been able to do in Detroit and Nashville has been really great for the newer generation of musician to see what it can be and really have that experience and that reverence for a way of listening to music that is not maybe the most popular way to do it now. We came up in a time when you put the headphones on and you laid on your bedroom floor and you read the liner notes and you had the artwork and the whole tactile experience. You flipped the record over. There was a long time period you had to pay attention to something. So all of that stuff, I think people are yearning for it because it's not how we live anymore.
Exactly.
And nostalgic. And it brings you
Well,
back.
I think they're finding it maybe besides nostalgia.
It's a different way.
Maybe it
It's a
wasn't
different
so
experience.
shitty. Maybe it was actually pretty good.
Yeah.
Maybe the new way is cool, but it's not necessarily better. It's just a different way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's the steak fast food thing. I get why you'd want to have 25,000 songs on your phone, and who cares what they sound like, because I'm just taking a walk, working out, in my car, blah, blah, blah. But when it comes time to I want to really listen to this record. I want to listen to a piece of music. I love this one thing.
I want to go on a journey.
I'm going to put Modus on because it's the greatest thing I've ever heard.
I want to go on a journey. I want to have an experience.
Well, don't you want it to sound cool, and don't you want to be involved, participate, and you know what I'm saying? It's just a shame. I hope that kids come back to that.
I think they are.
There are things you can't hear, like satellite radio in your car. There's all kinds of things going on in some of that music that you're not even hearing.
Right.
You don't even know what's happening.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
So,
It's getting, it's getting.
But that's the great thing about, we live in the future. We do. Yeah. And that's the great thing about progress and evolution is you have choices, right? So when you're on the treadmill, you're not flipping a record.
No, that would be a bitch.
It's work. God forbid, I got to get up. I got to get up to flip a record. Are you kidding me?
Oh, and you got to clean it, and you got to take care of it.
Right.
You can't leave it in the sun, and it's a whole. But that's the whole point. You know what I mean? It's something that you can
collect.
You
collect and you cherish. You take care of it.
It's a fetish object, right?
Are you hip to the neural headphones? NURA?
Yeah.
Are you hip to those?
Yeah.
Have you tried those?
I don't know what that
They're
is.
They were
amazing.
AES.
Oh, I just whacked that.
Because you were talking about not being able to hear music on
So what do you
satellite
do with
radio.
it?
Yep.
So what it is, it's like phones like this, but on the inside they got buds. So you're putting buds in there with the cones. And when you first purchase these things, and they're like $600-700, when you first purchase them, it does a scan through your ears, and it scans through all your frequencies.
So it's doing room correction.
Yes, it is.
It does
for
room,
your
right,
ears.
It does room correction, exactly.
They're like little environments.
So it's almost like
the
when you were in
acoustics of your
school,
eardrum.
you used to do the hearing test,
Yeah.
right or left. So that's what it's doing in your ears. And it scans through your head for about a good 5 to 10 minutes. And then all of a sudden you're done with the test and you go and you hear music like you've never heard it
Yeah,
before.
because I bet it's what it's doing too is realizing, I know for me, example, I lose, everybody does, but especially me because I was an asshole and listened to fucking my amp at 100 million decibels for years.
Do you have tinnitus?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, me too.
And then on top of it, as you get older, you just start to lose your top end.
Yeah.
You just do. There's
Right.
not much you can do. And
You're not hearing 18K.
no,
Not at all.
I don't hear.
You're not hearing 12K.
No, I don't hear above 12 or so.
Yeah.
12 or 13. And anyways, I would imagine that probably sees that and compensates for it and boosts those frequencies in your phone so that you now are where you know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, it opens up your
Interesting.
world.
I
Check
wonder
them out.
who makes those.
Nura. They're called
That's-
Nura.
well, that's-
They're a company out of Australia. It's
course.
Nura. Is
Interesting.
Yeah, look them up. I
will.
tested it with
Get a sponsorship.
my buddy. Nick Phelps had a set. He's like, you got to try these.
Huh.
So I tried them, and they're life changing.
Yeah.
headphones. They definitely are. It's incredible. Check them out if you get.
I will.
We
I
went.
took gear tips from Z. I like it.
We have another
The
question. up there.
student becomes the teacher.
Mike Coley wants to know if you have mobile recording ability.
We have never done that. That's never.
We have tossed that idea around.
Yeah. we
Here's the
have.
problem, and this
This
is going
setup, and it's probably a pain in the ass.
Well, yes, but here's the real problem, and this is going to sound conceited, but this is how we are. Pedigree of the shop. So what we have at the shop currently, what we offer people, the equipment that you get to use, hard to find better equipment in the world.
The room that you're recording in.
Well, not just. I'm
of
just
it.
saying the preamps,
Oh, sure.
all of the console, the I can't take that with me. So for our pedigree point of view, for us to kit ourselves up, gear ourselves up to be adequately sort of comparable to what we can offer, it's a lot of money. That's just really, quite frankly, I mean, it's 15, 20 grand.
And it's staff, you know. I mean,
then
we
who's
are,
doing it?
And
we
time.
are a one-room shop. We pride ourselves on being a ma and pa shop. We're very hands-on. It's it's boutique. And if we have a band with us for 5 weeks, we can't duck out on a Friday night and track something.
Right.
No, and
It's-
I'm not hiring somebody.
Yeah.
It's just, so we have come very close.
Yep.
But it's never, it doesn't make sense at the end of the day on the bottom line. There's not enough of it to make sense to buy the equipment that I'd want, and I'm not going to buy the cheapo crap,
Right.
And just do it like everybody else can for $3,000. That's for me. That's not good for the brand. It's just somebody else can do that.
Like you
That's
said,
cool.
the pedigree of the studio.
Yeah, and I know that's, but you know what I mean. There's no $5,000 Mercedes. You know what I mean? And that's
Well, it's quality control. Anybody who makes anything should have some sort of quality control. You can't have, this bottle going out all dented and leaky,
Right. You know what taught me that? Tommy from Pizza Classic when
Yeah.
I worked there. He was like, it's consistency's the key. You establish that watermark and you just never dip below that watermark. And it's tough shit if the band's no good. Tough shit if this, tough shit if that. You make it happen.
work.
You know what I mean? But there are points where you go, that's a losing proposition. And that the mobile thing is a losing proposition because then to Pam's point, okay, great, we got all the gear. Now we go to some rehearsal room and it's a complete disaster.
It's never going to sound good, no
mean,
matter what you do.
and all
you
you're gonna-
could bring the console, but,
Exactly.
the room is not the space to be recording in.
And the problem is, it's not a problem, but the truth of the matter is that you'll look at the thing and go, "Who did this piece of shit?" A Big Blue. I'm never going there.
We have a facility and a house.
Yeah.
Just come do it
Just
with us
come to the
properly.
studio. Yeah. But I know, but
you
Coley's-
can. I get what he's
His
saying.
point is, like,
it would be a lot of fun.
And some bands, truthfully, they are uncomfortable in the studio. They don't
Right.
want to go to a studio. They feel like
Yep.
it's the man.
The pressure.
Yeah.
Well, and it's corporate. It's the man.
And it's red light fever. It's what you said. The
Right.
pressure.
Pressure,
The pressure
too.
makes you not be able to
Absolutely.
perform right.
You know.
But it would be a lot of fun to record. I know what he's talking about. It'd be a lot of fun to
I'd
do.
love to
but-
go to some dude's house in or cabin in Old Forge and spend 2 weeks with him
Oh, it'd be sick.
by the fire recording.
Yeah.
It'd be fucking great.
Yeah.
If I could do it the way I wanted to do it, but
Right.
then I'm 25 grand in, and I just if I had 25K, first of all, I'd be putting it in probably the studio.
Well, if Dave Grohl's asking you to do it, you're fucking doing
That's
it.
a different thing.
Well, that's
a
the
different
thing.
banana.
You're doing
That's
it.
the thing.
Exactly.
If there were ever an opportunity we couldn't pass up, we would
right.
totally do it.
If Al called, yeah, we'll be right there. I mean,
we're insane. Everything.
we do stupid shit.
Our entire life is this business. I know people think we sit around eating bonbons all day, but our entire life is this business. We have structured everything about our existence to be able to do this 24/7. And
we
so
work fucking hard.
We work really,
We've had 110
really
hour
hard.
weeks.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You know.
I know.
It's not. It's
Any
I've
small
seen it.
business owner will tell you the same thing. You're the janitor and the CEO
Yeah,
all at the same
absolutely.
time.
You have to, if you're putting your heart and soul into
You
it,
gotta
you
do
have to
it.
put the
And
time
why
into
do
it.
it if you're not doing it like that?
Exactly.
I mean, we're both very extreme people, and so when we say we're going to do it, we do it. And we can't do that with mobile recording.
Yeah.
That's really what it comes down to.
Isn't he glad he asked?
Jay Schnitt saying he love you guys. We
Is
love
he
you
here?
too,
Is
Jay.
he home now?
He's
I don't know where he is.
He's
He's
on the
always
comment
somewhere
line
on
right
the
now.
Yeah,
globe.
I was going to say he's probably
He's on a mountaintop in Peru again.
Wow, we flew
Jay
through
is
an hour.
super talented,
I know,
and
dude.
these guys are all so talented. You know, people.
So much talent in this
People
area.
really need to get out. We can never get out because we're always working, but you got to get out there and support your local venues, support your local bands. You know, everybody great started as a local band, and we have a wealth of talent around here. And I really encourage people to get off Netflix and get the fuck out and go see some music.
Go see some music.
Go talk with people that aren't on your phone.
Support your
Please,
local
for
music.
the love of God.
It's why we do this podcast every day. Support your local
Yeah,
music.
and-
Support
and
your local
God bless
arts.
you, man.
and
You
the
always
community
have.
and the events. And
So much love and respect for you,
one
Z.
way or another, bud. You've been,
You're true blue.
we've been in your wake.
Yeah.
my wake.
Yeah, you're like, oh, there's Z.
There he
You're
goes
the real
again.
deal, Anthony.
Oh, thank you guys. I love you guys too.
Right back at you.
We've had a lot of fun throughout the years, and Jeff made me cry a couple times. And but
Really, I can die now.
nah, we've I know. It's good though. But yes, one time, tell everybody how they can get in touch with you if they're interested in recording an album or even just coming to have maybe a consultation visit with you. How do they get in touch with you?
Sure. BigBlueNorth.com, or we're on Facebook, Big Blue North Recording Studio. Give us a call, send us an email, smoke signals, see us around the water cooler.
Bear with us sometimes if we don't call right back because,
Yeah.
again, we are the whole deal. And if we do have a session and we're, working 12-hour days, we can't always, we don't have receptionists and things. So give us a day or two, but we'll get back to you.
Email's
Always.
great,
Always.
Pam at Big Blue North or Jeff at BigBlueNorth.com. That's the best way to get us.
Excellent. Great catching up with you guys.
Nice to
so
see
much
you,
love
bud.
for you.
man.
We need to collaborate on some things and hang out again and reconnect. Well, we reconnected today, but just getting together and hanging out. I miss that. I miss getting yelled
You
at
should
by
open a
Jeff.
bar.
No, I'm done. I'm done.
can hang out.
You should get mobile recording studio.
Well, I will if you will. How about that?
Oh, God, no. Let's bypass this whole idea. Let's
Gabe's,
just have beers.
I love Gabe saying T-shirt time. BBN down with the stiffness.
Oh, no.
Stiffness. I love it. You're the stiff lord. Great talking. He loves the three of us. So we love you too, Gabe.
Love you too, Gabe.
One day we want to do a street rock reunion one of these days if we can ever
That would be a
get
fun
it
thing,
together.
huh?
I would love to, man. I miss that band so
You
much.
got to pull Mandry back over here. Which seems like it's going to be difficult. from
He's
what
doing
I
great,
see.
man.
I
He is.
know.
He's really doing
Seems like
good.
he's
I'm
doing
proud
well.
of him.
Well, dude, that's where he does,
Yeah.
You
It
know,
is.
that's all I
It's
need.
exactly where he should be.
Exactly.
It's exactly where he should be. Well, thank you guys so much for coming in. Much love out to my sponsors. Got to give love and respect out to Nye Volkswagen in Rome. Stop into their showroom, see why all the customers love their Nye VW. If you mention Disruption Network, $250 off that vehicle purchase. So go in there. I got a promo code. Go in there. Check out their inventory at NyeVWofRome.com. Also, EJA Moving Services. When you're ready to move the studio, call my man Eddie up at 315-335-0516. He pretty much move whatever you need to move. If you got an elephant, he'll figure out how to move that thing.
Okay.
Gym equipment, any of
So
that stuff.
we'll have to-
You want to move that console somewhere,
Yeah, I was
he'll
gonna say,
move it
we've
for
got
you.
stuff.
Yeah, we got heavy stuff.
When you got that mobile recording studio, Eddie could be your roadie.
All right.
Come on, Eddie.
You can hit him up at ejamoving.com. Also, much love to Utica Hemp, too. Check out all four of their locations. They got one in Clinton, New Hartford, Herkimer, and in Clinton, New Hartford, Utica, and in Herkimer. So anyways, check out their locations. They've got a lot of stuff that if you are interested in CBD, you could try some topicals. They've got food. Go there and get a sample. If
Yes.
you're a little hesitant about CBD because it has the whole hemp word tied to it, if you're a little hesitant, and let's get out of this reefer madness way of thinking, people, because that shit's long gone.
Long gone.
Look
Hemp
at us.
is
We're
helping-
pillars of success.
Hemp is helping the world, and
Yes.
it's curing cancer, and it's helping with PTSDs and depression and everything, even childhood Parkinson's disease and seizures. And
I had stage 4 cancer for 5 years. I lived on this stuff. It kept me from getting on opioids. It helps me every single day to this day with pain management, any kind of nausea that you're having, arthritis. It really is a natural miracle. And I'm so proud of those guys for
They're killing
expanding
it.
and they're doing a really good thing for people and, do well by doing good.
Pam right there is a testimonial of why CBD
Yes. Utica
should
hemp.
be
Woo!
used by you and if you're living
And it
in
keeps
pain.
me from being a total asshole.
That too. He's
Also very good for a lot of people.
a tolerable
Absolutely.
asshole now.
Tolerable now. I'm a tolerable asshole.
You can visit their website, uticahempco.com, or stop into their 4 locations. Improve your quality of life with CBDs. Also, I got to make mention, too, we are doing a little charity benefit bowling extravaganza, if you will. And that's coming up on December the 1st on Sunday, December 1st, the day, a couple days after Thanksgiving.
Toys?
It's bowling for the Bahamas.
Oh, for the
For a Bahamas Relief
nice.
Fund, we're getting
Hurricane
together
relief.
and we're gonna bowl. We get a whole bunch of teams together. It's
Where is it?
It's gonna be at the Panorama, and it's
cool.
December the 1st. We're doing it from 1 to 5 p.m. From 1 to 4, we're gonna have team bowling events, and it's like $20 for a couple games, including your shoe rental, and 100% of the proceeds are gonna go to
I used
the
to
Bahama
bowl.
Relief
I used to
Foundation.
bowl.
Did you?
Yeah.
I could see you being.
I had
like,
my
a
that was the
Lebowski.
only athletic
You're like the
thing I ever
Lebowski.
did.
You're the dude.
Yeah.
I could see it.
Well, that's great. You're doing that for hurricane relief. Those people, I think they've been forgotten and they're still living in it. you know?
Absolutely.
you.
So we're getting
It's a
together.
great cause.
So from 1 to 4, we're doing team games. So come on, bring your team down. We're doing teams of 5. And then from 4 to 5, we're doing the Celebrity Bowling Challenge. And we got a couple local celebrities in the house.
Is
They're
that
gonna,
you?
No, I'm not a celebrity. I don't like to look at myself as a celebrity.
Yeah, you are.
I don't know about all that. But Genesee Joe, Jerry Krause, a couple other friends.
You're going to be them soon. You watch.
Yeah. Anyways, it's going down December the 1st from 1 to 5 p.m. at the AMF Panorama Bowling Lanes. That's 1724 Genesee Street in Utica. And big love to our friends over at Holy Pozzoli and the Panorama Lanes for letting us do all this stuff. Much love to all our sponsors. We wouldn't have these conversations if it wasn't for our sponsors. So thank you to all our sponsors. And thank you, Pam and Jeff, for doing some great things in the community and keep going. Success and nothing less. And I got a lot of love for both of you. So thank you for all that you do. And
Back at you.
Back at you, kid. Back at you. And tomorrow I'm going to have a little Halloween party. So if you guys want to come back, I have no guest plan. I'm just going to leave the door open and have people come in costume.
That's kind of all you
I'm
need.
a little scared.
Yeah.
I'm a little scared of what's going to happen
Yeah,
tomorrow.
yeah,
but
yeah. Why
it's
don't you put some candy out there?
yeah, trick or treat, huh? Especially in the hood. It's a perfect place to put candy out.
Should be fine.
Yeah, so it should be interesting tomorrow. A little Halloween party. And we'll see you tomorrow. Thanks again, guys. See you soon.
Thank you. See ya.
Thank you.
Thank you for calling the EC Radio Attitude Adjustment Line. Press 1 if you need a good slap in the mouth. Press 2 if you need a stern verbal lashing. Press 3 if you need a timeout. Press 4 to respond to the voices in your head. Press 5 if you need to talk to your mom. And if this is an actual emergency, please hang up and call someone who gives a shit.
You know what the hell you're listening to? It's EC Radio.
Only on the D.
It's Bowling for the Bahamas and Celebrity Bowling Challenge to benefit the Bahamas Disaster Relief Fund. Sunday, December 1st, 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. AMF Panorama Lanes, 1724 Genesee Street, Utica. Come have fun and enjoy a few games of bowling for a good cause. There will be prizes, food and drink specials, and some special challenges mixed in along the way. $20 per bowler or $100 per team includes 2 games and shoe rental. All proceeds go directly to the Bahamas Relief Foundation. That's Bowling for the Bahamas and Celebrity Bowling Challenge, presented by Disruption Network, Holy Pozzoli, and AMF Panorama Lanes. Sunday, December 1st, 1724 Genesee Street, Utica.
So you just bought your dream home, and now it's time to move. Let's face it, nobody likes to move. All the packing, unpacking, lifting, upstairs, downstairs, and broken everything, including your back. Let the professionals at EJA Moving Company take all the stress and pain out of your move. Competitively priced moving, relocation services, office moves, and complete packing and unpacking services. They work with everybody to make it simple and easy for you to move and relocate. Call EJA Moving Company at 315-335-0516. When it's time to relocate, have EJA Moving do all the work for you. Hit them up online, ejamoving.com.
Hey, Disruption Network. This is Mike Sacco, the general manager at Nye Volkswagen of Rome. If you don't know me by name, it's only because you have not received the best deal. There's only one reason to leave Utica, and that's to come see me in Rome and get the best deal on your next new, pre-owned, or certified VW. Mention that you heard this ad from Disruption Network and receive $250 off your next vehicle purchase. You'll know why our customers say, I love my Nye VW. Come see us at 5865 Rome Taberg Road in Rome or visit us online at nyvwofrome.com.
Want to know what's going on at the D? Hit up DisruptionNetwork.net and check out our events calendar brought to you by the Events Co. Find out about upcoming guests, special events, concerts, show schedules, community activities, and more. Get connected at DisruptionNetwork.net.